ever been deep in the woods when suddenly the forest goes completely silent? No wind, no birds. Just the feeling that something is watching you. Well, what happened to Malik and Elia that night is something they would never forget. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you enjoy mysterious stories like this. We have new stories coming soon, and you won't want to miss them. The forest has a rhythm. In the morning, it hums with birds and rustling leaves. In the afternoon, it breathes slowly under the warm sunlight. But at night, the forest changes. And that's exactly what Malik and Elia were about to discover. Malik and Elia had been friends for years. Both loved adventure, and both loved the quiet peace of nature. One bright autumn afternoon, they set out on a hike deep into the pine forests, far beyond the city. Golden sunlight spilled through the tall trees as they walked the winding trail. Elia carried her camera, snapping photos of everything, the light filtering through branches, the moss on old tree trunks, and the quiet beauty of the wilderness. Malik walked beside her, studying the landscape the way a builder studies blueprints. "I want to build things someday," Malik said thoughtfully. "Houses, bridges, places that last. Things that work with the earth, not against it." Elia smiled as she took another photo. "And I want to show the world places like this," she said. "Stories people never notice unless someone captures them." They continued hiking until the forest suddenly opened into a breathtaking clearing. Before them stretched a quiet lake, its surface smooth as glass, reflecting the bright blue sky. They had found the perfect campsite. Soon, they were sitting near the water's edge, fishing and laughing as the afternoon slowly faded into evening. As the sun dipped lower, their conversation grew quieter, deeper. Elia stared across the lake and asked a question that had clearly been on her mind. "Malik, do you ever get scared?" "Scared of what?" She hesitated. "Oh, of not becoming the person you think you're supposed to be." Malik thought about that for a moment. The sky was turning orange and purple above the lake. Finally, he said something simple. "Moby, we're not supposed to become just one thing. Maybe we're supposed to keep changing, keep growing." The sun disappeared completely, and night slowly wrapped itself around the forest. They started a small campfire, its warm glow pushing back the darkness. The crackling flames made the clearing feel safe, like a tiny island of light in a sea of shadows. For a while, everything was peaceful, slapped until... Snap! A branch broke somewhere in the woods. Both of them froze. Malik slowly turned toward the darkness beyond the trees. "Did you hear that?" Elia whispered. Another sound followed. Rustling. Something was moving out there. Slowly. Carefully. Malik stood up, placing himself slightly in front of Elia without even thinking. The forest had gone completely silent. "Sir." Then they saw them. Two faint glowing shapes in the darkness, eyes. Watching them, a low, distant growl rolled through the trees. Elia's heart began pounding. "Malik, is that a bear?" The glowing eyes moved slightly closer. For a moment, panic filled the air. Their first instinct was to run, to hide. But something held them in place. The fire suddenly sparked and flared brighter. And just like that, the glowing eyes vanished. Gone. The forest fell silent again, but the silence felt heavier now. Then something strange began to happen. A soft mist rolled slowly across the ground from the edge of the trees. The air grew cooler. In front of fog, a figure stepped forward. Malik and Elia stared in disbelief. It wasn't a bear. It was something else entirely. A magnificent creature stood at the edge of the firelight. Its body resembled a deer, tall and graceful, but its antlers stretched high like twisting branches of an ancient tree. Soft golden light glowed from its eyes. The creature moved silently, almost floating through the mist. Fear slowly faded from Malik and Elia's faces, replaced by awe. The creature circled them slowly, as if studying them. Not threatening, not angry, just watching. Testing. Then it stopped. For a moment, the woodland spirits simply stood there, bathed in firelight and moonlight. And then it lowered its head, almost like a bow. Moments later, it stepped backward into the mist and disappeared into the forest shadows. Just like that, the clearing fell silent once more. Malik and Elia stood there, stunned. The forest hadn't been threatening them. It had been challenging them, teaching them something. Sometimes the things that scare us the most aren't there to harm us. Sometimes they're there to show us who we really are. The fire slowly burned lower as the night passed peacefully. When morning light finally broke through the trees, the fear from the night before felt like a distant memory. But something had changed. They walked down to the edge of the lake. And there, pressed gently into the soft earth near the water, were enormous hoofprints. Proof that what they saw had been real. Malik and Elia looked at each other, both smiling quietly. As they packed up their campsite and began the long walk back through the sunlit forest, they felt different. They were still unsure about the future, still nervous about what lay ahead. But now they knew something important. Courage isn't about never feeling fear. It's about standing your ground when fear appears. And sometimes, the most beautiful discoveries in life are waiting just beyond the darkness. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more mysterious and inspiring adventures. And remember, the forest is always listening.